Conservation is important to our family because it's a preservation of the earth. We enjoy using the land in a way that is godly. It says that in the Bible that we are to nurture our land, and so we do nurturing of our land as well as nurturing of our family. We connect with our land through our ancestors. Our farm is 140 years old, and we enjoy having the same footprints that our ancestors had. We love being able to come here and use it as a therapeutic tool, and it's important for us to be able to share our stories to our youth.
A lot of people don't know the rich history that's behind our land. Some of my friends, they were like, we didn't know you owned a farm, it was just something I didn't talk about when I was younger just because we don't live on the farm, so it wasn't in my daily routine, but I knew I always had it. I want individuals to know that this is nothing to be ashamed about. At first, I kind of maybe thought, what will people think? But it didn't matter anymore. When I had my daughter, my mindset changed. I do what I do to be different. I do it to make sure my daughter knows where her food comes from, to make sure she knows that this is always going to be her first home. I think in 2020, a lot of people realized, oh wow, where are we going to get our food from? When the grocery stores didn't have a lot of stuff, they were bare shelved, they were just, trying to search for any and everything in those local stores. But if you have land, if you have a place to connect to your farmers, you'll always have nutrient-dense food.
We are utilizing measures such as wood chips to be able to combat our weeds. We use drip tape, drip irrigation for our high tunnels to conserve with water and also with fertilizer. We use cover crops when our fields have no production in them to be able to build the nutrients in the soil. We feel like using the cover crops are really a benefit to us. We also use sunflowers, which is also a beautiful tactic, but we use those, and those are also considered a cover crop.
Cover crops are making sure the land is preserved and making sure you're putting nutrients back into that soil. So we did hairy fetch this year. We did sunflowers. I think I heard my mom talking about how we double cropped. And let me be clear, we're still very much so learning with this. So the sunflowers were competing with that hairy fetch. So learning new techniques to bring up stuff so we don't have to bush hog something, so we don't have to dish something in, means a lot to us. So therefore, we're conserving that diesel one that goes in the tractor, and we're not putting it back in the air. We're not tilling up those minerals that are in the soil. So that means a lot to us. We're trying to install in new practices every single day.
The Black Family Land Trust is one of the nation's only land trusts dedicated to the preservation and protection of African American and other historically underserved populations' land assets. We see land as an asset, and it should be a performing asset for current and future generations. We have two core programs. One is the African American Land Ethic, which is a copyrighted program, and the other is our Wealth Retention Asset Protection. We started working with footprints when Erin Martin started working for the BFLT. She's one of our staff people who is actually a small acreage farmer, a working farmer, and that's who we represent. So who better to have on staff than somebody who's actually walking the walk and talking the talk every day, understanding the challenges that small acreage landowners have.
We are standing on part of the Martin farm. This farm has been here 140 years. This is a century farm. We also celebrated this year the purchase of this farm from 1883 to March 27, 2023, which makes it 140 years old. I come out in a fairly large family. I am fourth generation standing on this same property, and this is a very diversified farm. We do everything from livestock, which when my grandfather came back, it was a diversified farm at that time. It is still a diversified farm. The older generation's way of maintaining land was, they learned how to rotate. My grandfather's #1 thing when he was in the military is they corduroyed roads, and what that is they cleared land, cut trees to make roads. Everything that they eat and done was raised on the farm. All the hogs, chickens, cows, goats, the whole 9 yards, all those things have been raised on this farm. We've had some of the different things on the farm even up to now. We still have a hog farm on this farm. My brother is contracted with Smithfield Farms. So as I said, it's a very diversified farm. It's always been a diversified farm. We still keeping it a diversified farm.
So our logo consists of the horizon of a farm and a tractor. And those are tools that every farmer needs. It also has a logo of a footprint, and the footprint symbolizes the healthy footprint that we are leaving on the earth and we're passing down to our next generation.
I have so many hopes and dreams to this farm. I really am a big cook, so I like to do a lot of farm to tables, hoping that my daughter will have something that is easier, a little bit easier for her. I lost my job. My mom lost her job and it brought us back here. I don't want my daughter to have to experience that just for her to come back to this land.